All right, everybody. Welcome to the final match of Group C of the group stage of our tournament here. This will be between Le6lindre and kingbeandip. I am Ronnie, and this is my co-commentator for today, Lightning Pirate.
Hello. Yeah, this should be an interesting match. This is the final match of, like we said, of group. What group is this? Let's see.
Yes, I'm just making a quick announcement for people in the Discord.
Oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, so this is end of group C. I'm gonna pull up the challenge page here. And it'll be interesting if Le6lindre can take this.
Indeed, the first track was decided as Andobi Mountain Run, which is, as I'm discovering, a quite brutal track. There's a lot of spots where you can very easily die, and you can very, very easily lose a lot of time in other spots. Yeah, it's a punishing track for sure, but hopefully both of our racers will give us a very good showing here. I'm not sure how practiced either of them are on it specifically. Le6lindre seems to be having a little bit of trouble. Hopefully that is not going to stay. Hopefully we, because I think the closer races are more entertaining myself.
Yeah, these guys have played each other before in the, I want to say in the 2020 tournament, in which kingbean went 5-all. So yeah, hopefully we can see Le6lindre at least take a point off of kingbean. And so that'll be dependent on, you know, what kind of picks it can come up with, as well as being creative with the bands and the forces. So we hope the best for that.
Indeed. Le6lindre has given the ready, so we are now waiting on kingbeandip. So that we can begin. Yeah, you can see the section that Le6lindre just navigated through in his warm-up run. That canyon section is very difficult to take quickly. And if you can do it without braking, you can save many, many seconds on each lap. But it's extremely difficult. So this is the sort of race where a more experienced racer will just absolutely demolish a less experienced one, even if they're both deathless. The countdown has been given, so we shall see them begin shortly. You might have heard me give the countdown because my microphone picks up my keyboard a lot. Stream is usually a little bit behind, so this is not the actual run.
Yeah, it looks like they're still on warm-ups here, so
yeah,
hopefully they'll catch up soon here.
Yep, here we go. They're about to get started. Alright, and Le6lindre's off. Hopefully we get, I'm going to try and put in a sync pause. There we go. Hopefully that'll come in a second. So we're starting off with Le6lindre taking a little bit of a slower path through this early section. kingbean is taking the faster one. As you can see, he's going to take a little bit of an early lead. into this first hairpin section. It's possible to make it through this hairpin section without underheating, but it's extraordinarily difficult. And actually, I think King Bean did it there. Wow. That's not easy.
Yeah, it's hard not to
And that
lose
is...
speed there as well. It's really on the cusp of the turning, just not allowing you to get around it. But with the use of sliding and low frame rate, that kind of helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see just because of that heat management and a slightly faster path early on, King Bean has already taken about a 3-second lead.
So
And
here we
now
are
this
in that.
canyon section.
Yeah, the canyon section is also difficult to sort of maintain your speed through and really stay on top of these switchbacks where if you even lag at one point, you're sort of screwing yourself. Oh, and King Bean
Oh,
with the death on the
yes.
10.
The 120 first lap is really fast, but the death on the tent is not ideal. But not taking the tent is much worse than dying on it.
Yeah, that's
So,
interesting. So Le6lindre is completely abandoning the tent route and
oh,
crashing into the wall there in a very
yeah.
unusual way.
Yeah, cylinder. And he's gonna go the off-road route with no boost. Oh, he is gonna end up being enormously behind. Yeah, King Bean has just got such a huge lead now because of that. This is probably close to a 15-second lead if I had to just eyeball it.
Yeah, and even with crashing on the tent, which is uncharacteristic of King Bean, who, if you saw from the last match he was in, was taking it very confidently in, I believe it was Beatles Wild Ride, which is a risky strat.
Yeah, and Beto's Wild Ride, it's not nearly as much of a time saver as it is here. You notice that just by the act of not taking the tent, even though both of them died, King Bean is just so far ahead.
It takes it a little better there, but still not as clean as we're used to seeing.
Yeah. It is very possible to die in the canyon section, but not as common because people tend to be very safe through it usually. Yeah, 133 second lap is not ideal at all. Yeah, just doesn't look like Cylinder is super practiced on this track. Even if King Bean dies like 3 times in this canyon, somehow, I think he's still got a win here.
Yeah, hopefully he's feeling better since the last match. I know he said he was feeling a little lightheaded, so hopefully
This is
he's nice and hydrated for today's match.
yeah, indeed. A 3:51.
Oh,
That's a very, very, very good time.
yeah, with the death, he still managed to pull a pretty good time.
Yeah. That's, I'm pretty sure, about only 4 seconds off of the tournament record for this track. So without the death, he actually could have been in contention for it.
All right, so that's our first race. King Bean taking the first win, and we're moving on to our permabans.
Alright, so the first permaban coming in from Cylinder is No Fire Mountain Rally. King Bean comes back with No Inferno, so there doesn't seem to be much love for the Barunda tracks today.
Yeah, let's knock them all out. Keep going, guys.
It's very possible if Cylinder takes out Grabvine or Baru. Cylinder takes out Executioner, and King Bean takes out Mongaza Speedway. So those are our perma bans for today. For the temporary bans, Cylinder is removing Ben. And King Bean is temp banning Bunta training course. Where will Cylinder take us? Bumpy's Breakers. No forces.
That is one of his most picked tracks. So hopefully he is he's very strong on this course, and
Yeah,
we can see.
it's a very entertaining track.
Yeah. With and you said no forces.
Yes, no forces.
So we'll be seeing the nice and long version, and King Bean just played this one versus Paige, I want to say. I believe he took that one, and I can't remember if there was anything crazy about that match.
Yeah. It's a tough track, certainly. It's got its tough parts, but it's very fun to go fast on, especially if you can go fast on it. It's got some nasty hairpins. It's got some cool straights. It's got that shortcut, which can be quite difficult. Yeah, overall, it's a very interesting sort of track. A lot of stuff going on.
That's right. Ben is banned here, so we'll be seeing the second favorite in bowls.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Don't forget to update the tracker.
Oh, the wins. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, this track has a very high skill ceiling, I think. Possibly not as high as Adobe Mountain Run, but still, stuff like not underheating through this hairpin section they're warming up on can be quite difficult. Giving the countdown now. Countdown has been given, and we will see our racers momentarily.
It looks like Le6lindre might be going for that longer version of the shortcut, which isn't a bad decision because it's really tricky to take
Did
that
King Bean
shortcut.
just put the spec sheet back up?
Oh yeah, make sure. Oh no, it's.
Oh, he turned it back off. Okay, we're good. We're good. I was like, I mentioned it. Like, good job, you turned it off. And then he puts it back up. Okay, but he's taking it back off. All right. And it seems they are off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, King Bean was crashing into like ceilings and stuff here. He was showcasing some very strange stuff. So hopefully he'll take things a little bit. Oh, okay.
Oh, that crash is not fun. You really don't want to be seeing that kind of thing.
So yeah, there we have it. An early death from King Bean, and Le6lindre with a slight lead here. Although it looks like King Bean's gonna make this up shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this hairpin right here is very tricky. Oh, and King Bean dies on it.
He just oversteered and bounced off the inner wall. Wow. Okay, so Le6lindre maintaining that lead thanks to King Bean with another death.
Yeah, King Bean just maybe not prepared for Bumpy's breakers with Bowls. Bowls Roar is, of course, the fastest pod aside from Ben. Pretty much the ideal pick anytime he's banned, aside from maybe Bullseye on a couple tracks.
Here's that shortcut. Le6lindre taking it longer, but King Bean taking the
Yep.
shorter route very nicely and making up some time.
Yeah, that's not an insignificant amount either.
The
Second hairpin,
tempting
and they
fate
both
there.
take it well enough. Man.
Oh no!
Oh no! And that actually is going to let King Bean right back into it because he's going to be holding a boost through this section. And King Bean actually going to take the lead now by about 2-3 seconds.
Oh,
and another death from Cylinder.
Things are spiraling out of control for Le6lindre. King Bean
had
was
a
lagging
lead.
behind that whole time.
That's tragic. Cylinder had a lead, and not an insignificant one either, and now it's gone. In this hairpin section, he makes it through, King Bean does. And through the other hairpin. Very nicely done. And Cylinder makes it through, just one more hairpin to go. And he dies on it. Wow.
Yes, similar to King Bean's death there. Yeah, the bull's turn rate is kind of difficult to get around on this track with all these complicated turns and especially that shortcut section.
Fantastic shortcut. Yeah, Bull's turning is a lot more difficult to control than Ben's. And another good hairpin. Wow, King Bean looking just really solid aside from his early troubles. Oh!
Just into that
That's one of the dangers of taking that shorter version of the shortcut.
Yeah, just that little pull sticking right where you need to go.
Indeed. Solid lap from King Bean. And an extra bonk from Cylinder, just dragging away every second this track possibly can. It's a brutal track, for sure. And King Bean just has, just like last time, and just such a significant lead here that he could probably afford 3 or 4 deaths. And he's also managing his heat very well. Bulls and Ben are quite similar in terms of boosting patterns, but they're not exactly the same. And here comes King Bean's shortcut. Yeah, nearly perfect again. Just a little scrape.
Yeah, there's not much left that can really stop him from taking a win here.
Yeah, there's just not many places where you can make up that much time, and King Bean's about to finish with a 4:51. Very solid time, considering his early struggles. And Cylinder lagging quite far behind.
Yeah, from the first lap, it looked like this was just going to be a really good pick for Le6lindre, but unfortunately those deaths didn't do him any good.
Yeah, 5:23 for Cylinder. All right, so the temp bans are back. We've got basically the same temp bans. Ben Quadneros and Boon to Training Course. And Le6lindre has picked Beto's Wild Ride, No Forces. That's an interesting pick. Betos can be a very tough track. I guess maybe that's what Cylinder's hoping for, that King Bean will die in some spots.
Yeah, like we were saying before, if he goes for that riskier route, there is a chance that he could die on that exit there at the end of that tent route. But yeah, Cylinder might be playing it safer, or maybe he might be going for that riskier route himself. But we'll have to see. And again, with
Indeed.
bowls, it might not be as beneficial, especially on that lower traction.
Mm-hmm. And I do wonder if Cylinder is holding back on forces for now, if he's planning to use them at all, and if so, for what?
Yeah, we often see players when they are on sort of the losing side of the match, they'll sort of back, uh, yeah, they'll sort of just save up all their forces for like a final Hail Mary at the end, where they like ban a bunch of pods and choose no upgrades. But yeah, I don't know if that's the better strategy, or to just sort of pace them out throughout the match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It really
Cylinder does seem
depends.
to like banning Ben, so we're gonna probably be seeing a lot of Bull's Roar, which I do like. I like Bull's Roar. He's a nice one.
Yeah, the traction on those ice fields is going to be pretty tricky with bowls.
Yeah, a little bit of warming up here as I give the countdown.
Dip King Bean, yeah, he is testing out the tent there, but he's crashing into it. So
Yeah, I wonder if on Betos the tent doesn't save nearly as much time as the tent does on Adobe Mountain Run and Howler Gorge. So I'm wondering if it's even worth taking at all with Bull's Roar when you're unfamiliar with this sort of strategy.
well, yeah, he's definitely got it down with Ben, but the bowls definitely throws things off as far as both the entry and exit, where you're sort of struggling against both his turn rate and his low traction.
Yeah. And, you know, if Cylinder isn't taking the tent on Adobe Mountain Run, there's no chance to take it on Betos. So, Kingpin, I think, would be...
Wait a
and
second.
such an early death from Cylinder.
Oh, that's always the case here. You always hope for a even match. Oh, wait a
Oh, and
second.
Kingbean dies in a similar spot.
Come on.
It might be, about equal, but I think Kingbean's death was a little bit nicer because he flew forward a little bit, or maybe it was a nicer spot.
Yeah,
Not
he
quite
made it
sure
up on that
how.
shelf. Oh, Kiwi taking a very nice boost line through that section.
Yeah, Kingbean's boost lines are looking quite... Oh!
Let's cylinder into that arch.
Ooh, I felt that one.
So
That
already a
was
large
not a
gap
fun
here.
death spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kingbean is now really, really far ahead.
Yeah, but with
Once
that
again.
crash, he might be encouraging himself to take that tent. We'll see here.
Yeah,
He's
he
going
is.
for it.
And he made it. Lost a bit of speed, but he made it.
The cylinder might be abandoning. If he didn't take it on AMR, he's not going to take it here.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't.
He manages the shelf that time.
And here comes Kingbean's ice section. And very nice. Well, it's an interesting boost there. I guess it worked out for him. I'm not sure if that's faster with Bulls or what's up with that, but... Nicely done. And Cylinder crashes on the other big death spot in that part. Yikes.
Those damn arches. Always in the way. King Bean, second lap. Is he taking it? Whoa! He does it.
Jeez, Kingbean is going all out on this track. and it's just...
See the exit
This
here?
is a brutal destruction.
Alright.
I don't know how else to put it. King Bean is, just giving Cylinder the, unholy smackdown here.
Yeah, he's not holding back at all.
Oh, Cylinder tried to go for the tent, probably to make up some time, but died on it. This is a very interesting race, but King Bean is just so fast and so far ahead. King Bean is a very scary opponent, I believe ranked number 3 out of the qualifiers of all the players in the tournament. And he's already secured a win over Group C. Yeah. 250 for King Bean is a very, very good time, considering the deaths, or the death. I think he just died once.
Yeah, without that death, he would have been competitive with some bend times there. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, exactly. And Cylinder approaching the end here. Crosses the finish line with a 320. 320.636 to be precise. King Bean actually giving some tips to Cylinder in the chat about how to manage speedos a little better. Nice of him. Same temp bans as before, but Ben Quadneros and Boon to Training Course are the temp bans. And Cylinder is saying, "Come with me on Abyss." The pick we pretty much guessed was coming. I'm still happy to see it, though.
King Bean responds with just a simple happy face.
Yes, for those who weren't in Discord and didn't see it, for the half hour before the race, King Bean was warming up on Abyss a bit in anticipation of this pick. He was warming up with Ben, though. Oh, and Cylinder coming in with 2 forces. No Mars, no Bulls.
Oh, no.
King Bean replies, "Oh, dang it." And Cylinder using his 3rd force, no Mahonic.
We're seeing 4 pod bans
4
on
pod
one
bans. No Ben, no Mars, no Bulls, no Mahonic. Abyss. Full track.
Alright, so what does that leave us?
Neva Key Bullseye? What would you pick here? Aldarbedo is the other one I would think of.
Time to turn to the old simulator here.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the simulator. That's a great feature.
Alright, yeah, no Ben, no Bulls, no Ardo. Aldar. Aldar's not banned.
Aldar is not banned. The forces
Beto.
were... It's gotta be, yeah, it's gotta be Beto, I think would be the fastest. Yeah, the forces were Mars, Bulls, and Mahonic. Ben was the temp ban.
Beto or Elon?
Yeah, Beto, Elon. The other ones I was thinking of were Neva Key and Bullseye, but there's just not enough turns for that to be worth it, I think.
Yeah, Le6lindre looked like he was contemplating Bullseye. Oh, no, he's back to Beto.
We're getting Aldarbedo mirror. I love Aldarbedo. He's one of my favorite pods. But with Aldarbedo, deaths will be significantly more punishing because I believe he has... Does he have the worst acceleration in the game, or one of the worst? I think he's got the worst.
Yeah, I think he is the worst acceleration.
Yeah. Well, it's not often you get to see 2 Aldarbedos racing against one another, so...
Him and Rats. equally terrible in acceleration.
Yeah. You never want to be on par with Rats Terrell in terms of much.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, every death here is going to take a lot of more time than it would with anyone else. Purely because of the terrible acceleration Aldarvito sports. Getting back up to speed and gaining back time is significantly harder. And also this being a very short track, unless you fall down, makes that even harder.
Yeah, really hope Le6lindre can take this one, considering he dumped all his forces right here.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for them to say ready. Oh, King Bean is ready.
Yeah, warm-up is essential here, just to get a feel for this guy.
Yeah, they both don't seem to be doing a great job of staying on top in these warm-ups. This is going to be interesting.
Looked like Le6lindre was intentionally trying out that climb back up to no success. Alright, so this is the match, huh?
No,
Oh,
I'm
no,
giving
no,
the countdown right now. So the countdown has been given. We will be seeing the match momentarily. Or the race. The whole thing is the match. I know
Doesn't look
terminology.
like the climbing up is working at all here.
Yeah, it's certainly it's possible to climb back up. If Ace in chat is to be believed, every pod can do it even on 24 FPS. So
just don't fall down.
Yeah, just don't fall down.
Don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't make a mistake and you should be okay. Welcome to speedrunning. And Le6lindre is off.
Yeah, race forward. This first hairpin is always the one.
Oh, and he falls off immediately.
Alright, come on.
Can he make it back up is the question.
He's on 48 FPS.
I've got to pause it, so we got suspense because I had to pause it for syncing. King Bean makes it through the first turn and the second one without falling down.
Le6lindre heading for that penalty lap.
And Le6lindre just taking the penalty. King Bean taking the faster line. Can he stay on top here as well? He will not. Oh, yeah.
That penalty lap always results in another death, just because of that last couple turns are just terrible to take.
Absolutely.
Oh, and into the scaffolding as well.
Crashing on that shortcut is definitely not ideal in the slightest. Alright, King Bean attempting to turn a second time falls down.
Can he get back up?
His return to the top must be swift.
He's headed for a penalty lap.
He can climb it, but he will take the penalty on lap 2.
Okay, interesting.
And the thing about this penalty lap, as you can see, is that it's so curvy that if you try to take it quickly, you can very easily fly off just like that.
Just like that. Le6lindre,
alright, lap 2, Le6lindre on the top, falls down immediately!
No, that's not what was he doing there?
I'm not sure, just didn't brake hard enough. Can he climb back up on lap 2 is the question.
Phasing into the floor there.
No, he won't. Le6lindre has taken 2 penalties
and
now.
Off the track he goes.
And another death on the penalty. Ouch.
Oh, King Bean has
That's an interesting death spot.
Aggressive with his playstyle here, thinking he has to make up time, but he's really just ending up with more deaths.
This is so painful to watch. My man Vito doesn't deserve this.
Yeah, both these guys are grinding out deaths.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Well, can King Bean stay on top lap 3? So far, so good. And makes it through. No penalty for King Bean on lap 3.
Yeah, that's got to be it for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is...
hopefully, regardless, Le6lindre can stay on top on lap 3 just because the first two have not gone well at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see how Cylinder does. I just think, yeah, even if he stays on top, King Bean is
He's
too far
taking it
ahead.
nice and slow. Okay, good.
Yep, stays on top the first turn, which is the much harder part.
All right, come
King
on,
Bean
stay up
going for
there.
the out of bounds finish like a boss.
No.
Gets it. What do you mean, no, he falls off? Or are you talking about Cylinder?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Le6lindre,
I thought you were talking about the out of bounds finish.
yeah.
I was mesmerized by that showmanship. I mean, sub 50 time is pretty solid for Alderbeto.
He got sub 50? Wow.
So I think this pause here that Cylinder has is because he's
Wow.
typing in chat, because he was typing in chat a little bit ago. Yeah. King Bean is now on match point. This is not going to be a very long match, it seems.
Yeah, with Le6lindre already spending all his forces, I'm not sure what left he has to throw at King Bean here. King Bean, very competitive player, very intimidating player, just by what we've seen here today.
Yeah. And Cylinder going to finish with a 412.478.
All right, match point on race 5 here.
Indeed. All right, so we got some banter in the chat here. Apparently, neither of these racers have ever used Beto on Abyss.
Nice.
So that's an interesting way to do your first time with this pod on this track.
Also, it looked like Le6lindre was thinking that was his last race, but
Yeah,
nope, we got one more here.
explains why he used all of his forces there. He thought it was the last track. But we got temp ban for Ben Quadneros, and I imagine we'll get temp ban on Ubuntu Training Course once again.
King Bean thinking about his last ban here, even though he's banned Ubuntu Training every race. No track ban. All right. He's leaving all the cards on the table for Le6lindre.
Yeah. No track ban. King Bean is waiving his track ban. And Cylinder is taking us to Sebulba's Legacy? Question mark, exclamation point. Sebulba's Legacy is a fun track, in my opinion. But there's quite a number of places on that track where you can very easily die. There's some trappy bits.
Yeah, I especially don't like that cave section where
Yeah,
there's sort of a switchback that throws you into the wall.
exactly. It can be very frightening. It's deceptively difficult, I like to say, because when you're watching it, it doesn't look that hard. It doesn't look like it would be a very easy place to die on the geometry, but it is very easy to die there. Cylinder picking bullseye here, and I think King Bean is going to go for Bullsruer.
Yeah, with Ben Ban, that makes it kind of interesting as to who to pick here, because a lot of racers are actually competitive on this one, just with the amount of turns and sort of, and also the that end sort of shortcut there.
Indeed.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
all right.
I agree with Domarain chat. Is why you have to do every pod on every track. You don't want to be caught off guard. Gotta practice everything.
Yeah. He's definitely the one to make that claim. He literally has done that. Literally has done every pod on every track. It's recorded.
But has he done every pod on every track in one sitting?
You know what? If you were to calculate the time required for that,
It's like somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 hours, I think.
Only 3 days? Wow, okay. Yeah, I guess.
36 hours is a day and a half. Which is actually totally
Sorry.
normal.
Days aren't 12 hours long. Okay, wait. On Malistar, they might be.
They might be. I'm not sure. Yes, this is Nugtosh territory.
Yes, hopefully he approves of this match.
Yeah, otherwise we might be in for some sabotage. And their racers are off. Getting a little pause coming in here. And King Bean is going with Bullsruer, who is the faster racer here, who are ideally doing things. Bullseye, I guess, would be the safe pick. Now, King Bean has entered this cave section here. And he doesn't die. Cylinder does not die either. Very good. There's some tricky spots in there. And the wall ride.
Ooh, wow.
I don't know how he didn't die there. Oh, and Cylinder chips off his engine.
Nugtosh let him get away with that one.
It's the will of Nugtosh that Bullsruer does not crash there that time.
The guiding hand of Nugtosh.
The true Dark Lord of the Sith, Nugtosh, manipulating the pod races with the Force from atop his spire. Oh, that's what I mean.
Nugtosh giveth and Nugtosh taketh away.
It's very easy to die in that spot. It's a texture kill spot. And King Bean makes it through the wall ride just fine. Yeah, but with Bullsruer just being so fast, not much to be done here for Cylinder. Even if he played perfectly, I think King Bean could afford that one death. And he dies again!
Yet again.
Okay, I don't think he could afford 2 deaths with perfect play on Cylinder's part, but yeah, he's far enough ahead now that unless he dies a 3rd time, he should be okay.
Yeah, unless something tragic happens here, which it doesn't.
Yep, and that's going to be it.
We'll let him take the win.
Kingbeandip takes the 5-0 win over Cylinder to close out Group C. And that's going to be the race. All right, we'll be getting the runners in for post-match interviews momentarily.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome in, King Bean. Cylinder is deaf muted. Oh, there we go.
Hey guys.
Hello. That was there were some entertaining parts to that race.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I especially liked neither. You said neither of you have ever played Beto on Abyss before?
Nope.
Nope.
Wow.
I went too slow. My braking point was off, and I went too slow on lap 2 and fell off.
Actually, I tried to be cautious this time, but I fell 3 times. Even last lap, I almost got stopped. I was so slow, but he wasn't dead. He wasn't dead.
hmm
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's rough.
I had a lot of expectations on Abyss, but yeah. I guess overall I wasn't really in the zone or in the, I don't know how you can call it, but yeah, wasn't really in the match for some reason.
Yeah. You did well to ban every race. That threw me off more than I thought it would. I died at
Yeah.
least once on every track.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
I can say I did too, actually. More than once. But yeah, Ben, I don't play Ben very often on casual or speedrun anyway, so
Uh-huh.
yeah, I usually don't give the opportunity yeah, to take him.
Uh-huh. And it's funny because I was practicing Abyss right before this match, but
Nice. Nice
I
call.
didn't count on all of those pod bans.
Yeah. I honestly thought that Abyss was the last map, and I
Uh-huh.
decided once again to go all in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even I'm not even able to count to 5 tonight. So
Hey, I thought days were
one of
12
those
hours long
days.
earlier, so
Yeah, it was yeah, the actually the first fall, I guess I immediately fall on Abyss first lap, and yeah, it immediately yeah, threw me off, and I was yeah,
Yeah.
I was lost at this point. I was totally lost. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, you were so fast, King. Uh, I would say especially on a map, but on all maps actually,
Thanks.
and
Oh,
especially Bumpy's actually. Yeah, Bumpy's was super fast on your side.
I was I was trying to get the Bumpy's world record a couple weeks ago, actually.
Oh, all right. I did not
Yep.
knew that. Not really lucky tonight, guys.
actually, Bumpy's was an interesting one because at until the end of lap 1, Le6lindre was leading.
Yeah, I had
Just
a
because
couple of
of
weird deaths on the beginning of the. Oh right. Speaking of which, what's up with me and dying like in the first 15 seconds of a race?
I don't know. Maybe that's just the jolt you need to get into the zone for the rest of the race. Who knows?
I guess.
Yeah, that's hard to, yeah, expensive to pay for yeah, being in the zone.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But yeah. I really like Bumpy's. I think the track is really beautiful and it's interesting. There's a very diverse part of the track that render it very interesting, I guess.
Yeah. I agree. It was always one of
Yeah.
my favorite tracks as a kid.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well.
Let's forget tonight, guys, and
we can go ahead and
Yeah.
delete this one.
This was
please
the
do.
final. This is the final match of Group C. So 2 groups are now completely finished out of the 4. On Sunday, June 20th at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, there will be the match between That's No Good and Nectarn. from Group D. It's a bit early in the morning for those of us in the North America, but if you can make it to that, that'd be an interesting race. So check that out. And that's about all I gotta say, I think. You two raced quite well, and we'll be excited to see you again in the bracket.
Thank you. That was a really good match.
GG
Thank you to
again.
all the viewers for showing up, and thank you to SpeedGaming for the host. And we'll see you all later.
But
Bye, guys.